Okay, Chief Clerk, ready? The fifth day of the third regular session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Roll call, Chief Clerk.
Senator Aritas, Senator Christian, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Nath, Senator Palek, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ismail, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members are present.
We have a quorum to transact business today. Next item, Floor Leader.
Speaker, good morning, Speaker, and all members, as well as our staff and all those who are observing our session this morning. Again, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Just a note, in your emails, you probably received the draft journals from our last session in Truk, and I will give you at the end of next week to do your review and comments on your own statements. Submit them to our Chief Clerk and the Journal Clerk for correction, okay? And at this point, I really would like to, it's my pleasure to welcome back our colleague, Senator Aritas. We know you went through a difficult time last session and until recently, and we are grateful that you're back and in good form and in good health. Thank you very much for joining us again. Anything else before we move on? Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 5, Mr. Speaker, Presidential Communications. We have one, and it's number 21-197.
Take note of that, members, and assign it. Next item.
Item 6, have some Supreme Court communications. None, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item 7, Member Communications, also none. Item 8, Departmental Communications, none. Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications. We receipt of number 21-35.
Sign that. Next item.
Item 10, State Communications, there are none. Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications, none also. Item 12, Municipal or Town Communications, none. And item 13, Foreign Government Communications, also none, Mr. Speaker.
Point of privilege,
All right.
Mr. Speaker.
State your point, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before we go on to our order of the day, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce an individual who's observing our session this morning. I think he's from the Truk State Supreme Court, named Alex Elias. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Floor Leader, for introducing our constituent. If no further point of privilege, we're now on the order of the day. First item 14, Standing Committee Reports. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, for Standing Committee Reports, we have in a waiting list number 21-17.
Okay. Take a look at that. Next item.
Item 15, Special Committee Reports. There are none, Mr. Speaker. Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 21-42.
Okay, Chairman and members of the committees, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business. There's none. Item 18, bill calendar.
First bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 19, resolution calendar, none also.
Speaker,
Chairman Figueroa, make the
I
motion.
move to place Congress Resolution 21-110 on the resolution calendar for action.
It's been moved and seconded that resolution number 21-110 be placed on the resolution calendar for action. Any relevant rules to suspend? Floor?
So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's been moved and seconded that the relevant rules that might impede our action on the motion be suspended. Those in favor say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are suspended. So let's vote. Those in favor of the motion to place resolution number 21-110 say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-110 is now placed on the resolution calendar for action. Chairman Figueroa.
Move Congress adopts Congress Resolution number 21-110.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-110. Chief Clerk, read the title.
Mr. Speaker, we have Constitutional Resolution number 21-110. This is a resolution setting the ceiling of the total funds estimated to be available for appropriation from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020.
Okay, discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-110 say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-110 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution. Chief Clerk.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. There's no objection. We go down to the next item.
Item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
Okay, if you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Miscellaneous business. Do you have any miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Floor Leader, Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a few minor miscellaneous business at this time. First, I'd like to remind us of those few things that we have agreed upon to come back here to Pono Bay and try to put into legislation or whatever resolution. Three of them, as I remember, are our own rules of procedure. We need to adopt that. And the other one is the, if I may remember correctly, Code of Ethics and conflict of interest. I think these are the subjects that were discussed during the workshop, and I don't know whether what we need to do about this. But most especially for the rules of procedure, I would kindly ask Senator Romulo to look into that and see when we're going to adopt it. And second, miscellaneous, I just want to share, I think this is from yesterday or the day before, that the trial impeachment for Trump, they're at the stage of cross-examination of witnesses. So whoever is supporting Trump, please do remember him in your prayers. Those of us who are not supporting him, let's do it likewise to get rid of him from the office. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I don't know that I should be saying this in this assembly, but I was kind of planning to see you personally with this, but because of what we call transparency, I want to share in this assembly. This is regarding one of the pages whom I consider to be a professional page, namely Akina Joseph. I know she's been serving as page for so long, and I would like to ask this Congress to kindly look for a job for her. You know, she's been helping this Congress and also our delegation offices in the states, and I would kindly ask you, Speaker, and whoever has the authority to find a way to hire her to be our liaison to the delegation offices in the states and to Congress and to the executive branch. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker,
Thank you very much, Floor Leader Harbor. You have miscellaneous business, Chairman Figueroa.
yeah, I'll ask Floor Leader why he's talking about the news and looking straight at me, but may I ask for reserve recess?
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Thank you, Floor Leader, for your statements on the rules.
Speaker,
there are still some more works to be done with it, so I will encourage Chairman Romulo to continue to work with the staff to make sure that we have the rules as we envisioned, properly done, and then we can look at the timing as to when to reintroduce it for our consideration. On the Code of Ethics, yes, as we agreed, we can do it incrementally, not necessarily just one all omnibus bill on the Codes of Ethics. But I just want to let you know that you received through email or through hard copies one proposed policy, not something, but a policy on another aspect of the Code of Ethics, and that's the policies on sexual harassment, and that's I think already been circulated. Not that we are guilty of that, but I think we need to just have that on the books, so it will be part of our efforts to
Mr. Speaker,
build up
are we in recess?
our Code of Ethics laws. No, we're in session. I'm just trying to respond to what
Yeah, short.
on that professional page. I think she likes it to be just a professional page, and of course we can always look at it later. And in conjunction with the policy that's been proposed, as we know in every country, gender-based violence is a tragic reality. This violence is frequently hidden, and victims are often silent, fearing stigma and further violence. We all have responsibility to speak out against violence, to ensure that women and men, boys and girls are safe from sexual assault and violence in homes, schools, work, streets, in all places in our societies. The World Council of Churches created a campaign of Black Thursday in solidarity with those affected by gender violence and promote peace and security of gender-based violence. Bond-based social affairs, women's division, based on recent events in Secretary and especially Palicur last week, called out for a Black Thursday Bonbay to the interested public to stand up against gender violence with the rest of the world. Wear black on Thursdays in support of and solidarity of the campaign against gender violence. As you may have noticed yesterday, our staff showed that solidarity and support of this campaign to end gender violence. They were all wearing black, if you noticed that from yesterday. So thank you very much. That's just a short statement I want to make on what transpired yesterday. Senator Christian?
I'm happy to hear that the chief clerk has been harassing me all year long. So if you would please tell her to stop harassing me over petty stuff like vouchers and stuff like that. Does that count toward harassment?
Thank you, Senator Christian. Yes, our policy does identify what things may constitute sexual harassment. So take a look at it for your, just reading and understanding. Okay.
Speaker.
Short recess, subject to go out the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still in miscellaneous business.
Yeah, Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you, Speakers. I'm going to take us not talk about policies, but I just want a concern that I've been wanting to share with members, and this is regarding communications. The PTC, or the Pacific Telecommunication Conference, was held in Hawaii this year, about a few weeks back. And our Office of the Open Access entity did a presentation. And their presentation about their budget for this 2020. For Chuk and Yap only to handle the fiber optic, it's going to cost them $1.5 million. And then when Kushai gets hooked up, it's going to cost their budget of $1.7 million a year. The TRA right now, the only phone company in our country, FSMTC, has paid them $267,000 for this fiscal year. So basically, it's going to be around, the TRA will be $300,000 a year. These two agencies of our national government will cost around $2 million, minimum $2 million a year to run. What I'm concerned about is FSMTC is the only phone company as of today. Who will be paying for that budget? It's FSMTC. It's shown that they have paid $267,000 to the regulatory authority. So, but not Pohnpei, because Pohnpei Andrew is owned by FSMTC. So they didn't talk about that budget for Pohnpei. My concern is if Telecom will end up the only phone company for the years to come, for them to able to pay that amount to these two agencies, for sure they're going to have to hand it down to their customers to pay for it, unless Congress will subsidize the $2 million every year to make sure Telecom can upgrade. And knowing technology, we have to upgrade our system every year. When a new iPhone or new Android machine comes out, all the update that can talk to the technology, talk to whatever needed to upgrade the system, so we're able to use iPhone maybe 13 in the near future. They need to upgrade their switches, and it costs money to upgrade switches. So this is the concern I want to share all members. You know, these two agencies, they really need to either bring in a competitor so they can share cost. So FSMTC alone will not pay for the cost. So I'm enjoying internet right now, and I'm pretty sure, because I know the ongoing project now is to put up 10 cover site in Chuk and 10 cover site and I've seen all the equipments there and everything. They're trying to put together a team and how much it's going to cost to do that. So what I'm afraid of, when all of this comes up, when we start enjoying 3, 4G coverages, and we will be using it less because it's going to be costly, because we're going to have to pay for the $2 million. But this is a concern I want to bring, and I hope Chairman Colon is here, because I want to bring it to him to hear it, to do an oversight on all three agencies that belongs to the national government, all three. See how they can work something out so one agency or two agencies don't bring down the only agency that is actually providing telecommunication service to the people of FSM. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Berman. Those issues, yes, we've noticed them through email exchanges between our chairman and the CEO of FSMTC. Now that Vice Chairman Christian is here, I will assign him and the committee to look into that, the ongoing issues. It's important for us to know how these three relate to each other, because they are probably impacting our the services. Because I like the pictures you were sending around, 3G, 4G, and Wi-Fi, right, Chairman Ursimo? Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I will ask Vice Chairman
Mr. Speaker.
Christian to look into that. Yeah.
For my miscellaneous today, so I can earn my salary, the whole thing about World Bank wanting to help us with telecom, its genesis was they did not like the fact that telecom was a monopoly. And they came to encourage open market. Well, the market is open now. I'd like to encourage World Bank to also look at United as a monopoly and as a constraint to our development. I also want to say that if they can help us with another U.S. airline to service Micronesia alongside United, that would be really good, and it would really prove that they believe that open market is what is needed for development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Christian, you're correct. I think we will allow the TNC committee to pursue those and help us out on those issues. Any other miscellaneous business? Any? If none, next item is announcement. Chairman Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement.
Thank you, Chairman. All right, Chairman Figure.
Sir, it says
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Fakir, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Ways and Means will have another session tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Urge members of the committee to make themselves available. We need to continue working on the budget and finalize it tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Chairman Fakir. Chairman, members of the Ways and Means Committee, take note of that announcement tomorrow at 10. Chairman Ned. Thank you, Chairman Permit.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For members' information, Secretary of Health and all other departments as related to the coronavirus that's happening in the world, they're having a 12 o'clock meeting today, an urgent meeting today with all WHO and all other agencies that needed to be there. I've asked our council to be part of that meeting, so to at least bring attention to what's happening with our citizens in China, especially the students. The students there to get. I know parents right now are concerned about their kids. They wanted them to bring them over, but that's why they're having this meeting, or anything related to the coronavirus. So it's at noon today. There will be an urgent meeting regarding that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Perman. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Vice Chairman Christian.
Given any instruction for any meeting, so I will wait until my chairman returns. No announcement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chairman Conman.
No announcement, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay. Chairman Roosevelt. Wi-Fi.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today it's a little bit raining, so it's a good day for, so no announcement.
Thank you, Chairman Roosevelt. Vice Chairman Haritos. Announcement. Okay, thank you. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Floor leader, you have any announcement and your usual motion?
No announcement, Speaker, and I move that we stand in recess and come back at 10 o'clock a.m. Monday morning.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until next Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until next Monday at 10 in the morning.